When you start to work on your relationship with food and you start to make peace with food and you start to shift your nervous system and be the master of your life, sitting in the driver's seat of your life, knowing how to regulate yourself and regulate your emotions, then actually your entire life changes. When you're able to release any anger that you're still holding on to from things in your past, then actually you're able to claim your power. Otherwise, you will live in a constant state of reaction to everything that happens. You can either respond to the things in your life or you can react to the things in your life. It's so beautiful to be in that place of peace. And truly, when we make peace with food, we're really making peace with life and we're making peace with ourselves. When you start to work on your relationship with food and you start to make peace with food and you start to shift your nervous system and be the master of your life, sitting in the driver's seat of your life, knowing how to regulate yourself and regulate your emotions, then actually your entire life changes. It's not just your relationship with food that begins to unravel and unfold into what you've always wanted it to be. You don't just get relaxed around food, you get actually relaxed around all the other things in your life too. And all of us, and I'm going to tell you this, every single person in this room has a story. Every single person has a story. And I've had the privilege to work with thousands of people to tell you that we all have a story. And you get the opportunity to observe your life as your own story. And you get to decide how this story is going to continue to play out, where you get to be the hero. And the only way that you get to be the hero of your story is through radical responsibility, If it's always someone else's fault that I'm like this, if it's always my dad's fault that I was like this, if it's always my dad's fault that I have a hard time in relationships, it's always my dad's fault that this and that, and it's always my dad's fault, then what I'm also saying is I can never change that. And I don't have the power to change it because clearly I have zero control over it. I can't go and change it. And so the moment I say, okay, this happened. Yes, it was crappy. It happened. And also I 100% own what I want to do about it. I can't go back and change what happened, but I 100% can own what I want to do about it. And now I get to be the hero. This is so important to embrace as we are in our healing journey and in our journey to forgiveness. Because essentially when you're able to forgive, when you're able to release any anger that you're still holding on to from things in your past, then actually you're able to claim your power. Otherwise, you will live in a constant state of reaction to everything that happens. You can either respond to the things in your life or you can react to the things in your life. And when you respond to the things in your life, you are making a choice from a very centered place around how you want to deal with something. When you react to what's happening in your life, then you're just playing that unconscious pattern, that reptilian brain, that primitive brain that governed all of your actions and behavior since the moment you were born. It got you to cry for food when you were hungry. It got you to turn your face away when you were full. Got you to cry when you had to change your diaper or you felt afraid. That no longer gets to control what happens next. So you're not reacting to things. When you're reacting to things like snapping at people or maybe going into bouts of extreme emotions, that is primitive brain. That is your reptilian brain. And that is a reactive brain. It just reacts to environment. And so with the work that we can do together around regulating your nervous system, you're able to respond. You're able to respond. And I want to make this very clear that our goal together is also not to abolish your emotions, okay? It's not to not have any more emotions because it is part of the human experience to have thoughts and to have emotions. But what I am saying is instead of that emotion taking over your life and lasting for days and weeks and months, and now everything is because of that, and now I'm still stuck in this place and I've never been able to move on from that thing that happened, what you now can do is you can learn to understand the message that this emotion is trying to give you, and now you can do something with it. I got an amazing email a couple days ago from somebody who came off of Wellbutrin, so came off of medication that would help her regulate her nervous system essentially and her emotions. And this is a journey for her. We've been working together for a while. This was one of her goals, and she's been off it for a couple weeks. And so since she's been off it, she's also now like learning how to re-regulate emotions. We did a great job together until she got to the point where she's like, okay, I'm ready to come off this medication. And so she came off the medication and started to notice, okay, some of my self-rituals and my commitments that I was implementing are like, I have to kind of readdress them again. But what was so beautiful was she sent me this email 2 days ago to say, oh my God, I have a major win to share with you. Yes, there's these things I still am working on. However, right now, when I feel anger, I actually just sit in it. And when I feel sadness, I'm actually now sitting in it. I'm not turning to food. I'm just sitting in it. And I don't believe how quickly it can pass. And I can't believe that I can actually sit in it. And the reason why I asked for that medication and my doctor put me on that medication was because I was not able to sit in it. It was taking over my world. And so that is such a major win. And that's such a major win. That's so beautiful. And I'll also tell you personally, for me, I've worked so much also to get in control of certain emotions in my life that really were causing a lot of destruction. My response to fear is to be angry. My response to sadness is to be angry. And like I shared with you the other day, that's a secondary response, right? Anger is actually a secondary emotion. And I've always been that type of person that I won't show my sadness. I won't show my fear. It'll just look like anger. And at one point, and I shared this already throughout the week, at one point when my mom was ill and it was her last months, like that anger was out of control. I mean, even at my gym, I was like snapping at my clients. Like it was just out of control. Like it was like this beast that like was wild and loose, because really what was behind that was sadness. What was behind that was tons of fear. And so I've done the work to really get to the root of how can I control this response of anger, because you lose relationships. You have unnecessary arguments with people. You snap at your kids and feel terrible later. You can't even stand your own self. It's so beautiful to be in that place of peace. And truly, when we make peace with food, we're really making peace with life, and we're making peace with ourselves. Like, how amazing would it be to no longer ever think about what should I eat? What should I not eat? Why did I eat that? Why didn't I eat that? Oh my God, everyone else is eating that, but I want that, but I can't have that. Oh my God, how do I look in this thing? Oh my God, like it's amazing, because when I sit down with people who I haven't seen in a long time, okay, and these are like badass women. Okay. Like they're doing really cool things. They're launching courses, they're writing books, like they're like in the stock market. They're very successful. And we're sitting together, and you know what the conversation is? The conversation is who lost weight and what did she do? Like nobody's talking about, oh, this person did this really awesome thing, and can you believe it? She was on a TEDx. Like that's not usually what we ask each other about. Admit it, because I want you to admit it. Isn't it true? When you haven't seen somebody in a while, you don't care about what their cool achievements are in life. What you're actually noticing is, oh my God, how did they lose all that weight? They look amazing. What is she doing? And it's not that we don't care about their achievements. It's just that that's the only thing that's on our mind, right? It's like, that's what's on my mind. So if that's what's on my mind, then that's what I'm going to notice in other people. And so let's change that so that our life is more than just our weight, what we're eating, what we should and should not eat. And there's so much more. There's so much more to enjoy.